You have to read the comments. Can you scoot over?
No.
Hello, Lifers. It's Jason Love with Jason Loves Life. And we're here again for our sit-down Sunday brunch couch session.
So still struggling. I see. You had at least 24 hours every day to think about how to say that, and you still haven't figured it out.
I just make it up as I go along, like most things. So thanks again for all the great... I sincerely want to say thank you for all the very nice comments. Very much appreciated. There's some great information in there as well, so if you're watching this, you might consider... I'll try, if I remember, post last week's... I'll try to post last week's in this description and in the comments. So some great stuff on having autism, parents, or like finding out, or even just being like relating to your child, stuff like that. Also talking, I think there was a mention too about the finance stuff. So check that out. But I'd rather have you guys just read it than me to try to wing it, explaining it here. So we'll go ahead and go on to the first question, which is from Priscilla with Fathering Autism. And first she mentioned, I'll just read her whole comment, it's relatively short. It's crazy to hear you call them by their names. You probably don't realize it as much as I do, but it's a little weird, yeah, for me editing and listening to this. And then she makes a comment about Leah, and then she wrote, if Evelyn is putting non-edibles in her mouth a lot, have you looked into Pica? And I kind of went back and forth with you. Well, I don't think she has Pica. I think earplugs are fantastically interesting to put in your mouth. They're gushy, soft and squishy, and she really shouldn't put them in their ears because they probably taste like my... She shouldn't put them in her mouth because it tastes
her mouth because they taste like earwax, probably. What an acquired taste.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what I said with Priscilla. That's probably more of a... it feels weird in her mouth. And then I asked you about Abby, and we went back for it. So that's helpful. First of all, I don't know if I classify her as having Pica. I have thought about it. And the other issue is that my understanding, as like having worked with kids with, mental disabilities and different social, psychological, whatever, and a lot of different labels, that usually, even if they have Pica, it's like a bigger diagnosis. Like we never had a kid that we had a lot of kids who had Pica, but it would be like autism and Pica, or this and Pica. And actually autism is the only one I can think of. But and again, I'm not an expert. I have like a bachelor's degree in psychology, so I'm not a doctor. But my understanding is that Pica is usually it's sort of like having a fever. Like a fever is not what you have; it's what you have. It's like a symptom of something else,
something greater.
Yeah, and so that's
my
understanding.
When I was pregnant, how I wanted to eat cigarettes.
Yeah, and actually that's a good example. I don't know. Yeah,
I don't smoke.
Having Pica, pregnant women have Pica, and again, I don't know. Yeah, I might be completely wrong on that. Feel free. Please do correct me if I'm wrong.
Weird fact: Pica was named after the magpie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because magpies would eat everything.
Yeah,
so that's the Latin word for magpie is Pica, or Greek, or something like that. Terrible fact that I just can't remember. Something about magpies.
Interesting. Or
not really.
So can we change the show to Facts with Leah? Weird Facts with Leah?
Know It All with Leah Love.
So another question from Gabriella, and she asked... Actually, no, I should pull up my phone because otherwise you guys think I'm just like looking off. Do you think having a specific diet can influence or improve the life of a child on the spectrum? And then another compliment for Leah. How come you guys aren't complimenting me?
Who needs you?
So I'm curious what your thoughts are on this.
On diet?
Yeah.
We haven't gotten that far.
We sort of tried to test things.
We tried a milk allergy, but I don't really think that's it. I don't think it benefited him to cut out dairy.
So the reason why I said sort of tried is we actually did cut out dairy for months, and then we realized he was getting dairy at school and had forgotten that he was getting milk at school.
Yeah, lunch at school full of dairy.
Yeah, and so we thought we were testing. My thoughts are on I don't know of any scientific evidence of that, but I also feel like diets can help anybody. Like a good diet helps anybody, so it's sort of like catch-22.
It's so individualistic. I mean, I've met some kids who were allergic to a certain red dye. If they had it, they went off the scale, hyper crazy, just bouncing off the walls.
Or like people who go like, and this is a little off topic, but I was just reading about diets because I'm thinking about going on a diet, and this basketball player who's on like just a plant diet, which is weird for a basketball player. So he's a vegan, and he just became a vegan, and he's saying how like great he feels. So I mean, that's an example too, where it's like if a child feels great, what's that going to come out in behavior or personality? But like I do think a diet has an effect, but it's a question of what and exactly, like it's very individual, and then as well as like non-scientific, but I don't know.
Just can't imagine, like, forget not eating steak, but not being able to eat honey, or having arguments over whether or not honey is actually vegan.
I was gonna say, I think it depends on who you ask. I think for them it's okay. You just can't eat bread with eggs.
No. There's a debate. Honey.
I know. There's a vegan debate over honey, and
super serious.
Depends on who you ask. So. I hope that answers your question. So I would say yes, but not like in any like extreme, not in like major ways of like, it's not magic, I guess is my answer. And then we have one from Zev, which is, let's see, what type of services are you looking for Everett when he starts kindergarten, like resource room 1-1? I'll let you start with this one as well.
Extra resources? He has all the resources he can take right now. He is technically in 4K.
Yeah, we're not...
Aside from having the ABA, he also gets speech therapy in class.
Yeah.
And he's a part of special ed, so that's like 3 things right there.
Which special ed is part of the regular classroom. It's just like an extra teacher within the classroom.
They're part of the same classroom. It's just a special education teacher.
I mean, part of it is I will kind of see what they're offering. I guess we're not really looking because I feel like they've done great so far. I would be disappointed if we didn't have a speech therapist. So I would say speech therapy would be one. I wouldn't say one-on-one, but like similar to this where it's like one teacher for like, I don't know, not a lot of kids, whatever. He's got a teacher that helps with multiple, and I think he ends up using up a lot of our time because he has such a hard time with transitions.
Yes. I feel very bad.
Yeah, I feel very bad too, but he's
a handful.
It's funny because he's so good, and then at the same time, like there's certain
he has his moments.
He just has his moments, right? So I not necessarily one-on-one unless we start having behavioral issues. It's also hard to really gauge what's happening in the classroom now because
we're not there.
We're not in the classroom. So we're kind of taking... I feel like the teachers are honest, but sometimes even the answers are vague, where like when I went to pick them up the other day, she said, oh, he had a good day and he just had a hard time at the end. And it's like, well, what does that mean? My definition of a hard time might be different than her definition of a hard time.
Most of the time when they say he's had a bad day, he doesn't want to put on his coat or he doesn't want to get on the bus.
Yeah, I mean more like... Because I think, too, the ABA therapists want to talk to the teachers as well because if he's throwing a huge... again, it's how you define hard or hard day. It's like very unscientific and very
he's throwing tantrums. That's hard.
And so I think the ABA therapists were kind of like, don't they have a meeting coming up with the teachers?
Yeah, I'm going to that too.
And so the reason why they're doing that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is because they want to see whether something's really working in the classroom. Because again, like those vague answers, they want to sort of say, okay, what does that mean? Is he actually transitioning fine there and just having a really hard time at home? Why is that? So sort of figuring out just that extra information and then learning from each other, which I'm excited they're doing. I mean, wish we could have done it earlier, but I don't really know.
It was hard. The logistics, I don't know.
Yeah.
The government money, what was it?
Well, so there's issues.
The funding.
There's issues with sending.
Double billing.
Yeah, there's issues with having the ABA therapist in the classroom, and the reason why there's issues with the ABA therapist in the classroom is he already has. The school is paying for a teacher to watch him and the other kids that are in the special ed part. I feel weird saying that. Is he technically
it's still special ed.
Okay.
They're worried that the government will be overpaying.
Well, no, they're not
employees.
Right, they're not allowed because they literally would be hiring them, and then if an ABA therapist, which our insurance is paying, comes in, then they're like, well, why are we paying a teacher if there's an ABA therapist? So, yeah, it's a government thing.
It's complicated.
With the school district paying for a teacher and then also paying. And I imagine there's also, I think there's more to it, but yeah, basically they just are like, no.
I'm looking forward to next year when he's in our school nearby to see if they'll let ABA therapists in, because one of our therapists does go to her kid's school.
Oh, she does? Mm-hmm. And yeah, it might be possible. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll wait and see. I'm not sure why I could see why they wouldn't let somebody in, but then again, maybe once they're at that level, instead of the school hiring someone, it makes sense. So let me see if there's any more questions. Stall, Leah. I do think that's everything.
Scroll.
Sorry, I feel like I should.
Let's stare at our crotches a little more.
Yeah, well, staring. Let's see. That's it. I don't know.
Try not to point out how your shirt is buttoned wrong.
That's how I like it.
No, I told you upstairs that I was going to point this out.
I know. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you for all the questions.
Thank you for the compliments of me, the only one here who matters.
Yeah, if you get a chance, go ahead and read through some of that. There's some great information, great stories shared. So, and I forgot at the beginning of this to tell you, leave your comments and questions in this section, because it makes my life easier, even though a little bit slow. It makes it a lot easier, so I don't have to look it all up. So thanks again. Do you have anything to say before we go?
I never do.
Okay. Thumbs up, comments, and I will see you tomorrow. You should have recorded that.
You should have recorded that.
Yeah.
You could have got me.